We're about to dive into a truly fascinating system, one that claims to find a hidden order in what should be pure chaos, the lottery. But you'll see this isn't really about numbers. It's a whole world with its own unique language, its own drama, and some claims that are, well, pretty mind-boggling. So it's a number with over 100 zeros. They're basically saying this is so close to impossible, it might as well be. So you have to ask, right? What in the world is this framework? How could any system claim to have beaten odds that are just astronomical? That's the big mystery we're going to unpack right now. To really get what's going on here, we first have to learn the lingo. It's got its own unique language, so let's break down the core ideas that make this whole system tick. Okay, first up is the cycle. The easiest way to think of a cycle is like a sports team. That's it. There are 22 teams in this league, C1 through C22, and each team has its own specific list of players, which are the number combinations. So if a cycle is the team, then a base is just a single player on that team. It's one specific 3-digit number that's on that cycle's roster. Simple enough, right? And that brings us to the missing base. Following our analogy, this is the player who's still sitting on the bench. It's a number on a team's roster that just hasn't been drawn yet. The system is always watching to see who's still waiting to get into the game. And here's what that looks like in action. You can see cycle 12 is completed. It has 0 players left on the bench. But then you look at cycle 19, and it's listed as critical. Why? Because it still has 8 missing bases, 8 players waiting for their turn. Okay, so now that we know the language, we can finally understand the system's real mission. It's not just about passively watching numbers come out. Nope. It's about actively chasing a very specific ultimate goal. And that goal has a name. Exhaustion. This is the end game. This is the championship trophy for every cycle Evet. It's that moment of victory when every single missing base, every last player on the roster, has finally been called up and appeared in a draw. Now, progress is tracked in a really specific way. A clean hit, that's a good thing. It means a missing base finally got in the game, moving that cycle closer to its goal. But a recycled hit, that's just a repeat of a player who's already been out there. It doesn't help the team achieve exhaustion at all. But here's where things get really interesting. For the exact same lottery result, 289, one of the source documents calls it a clean hit that completes a cycle, a game winner. But 2 other documents call that same result recycled, meaning it made 0 progress. This suggests the system is more of a living interpretive framework than some kind of rigid science. But if we stick with that mission, this is what victory looks like. According to that first document, this is the goal, fully realized. Cycle 12 has achieved a perfect 100% exhaustion. The quest for that team is officially over. You know, any great mission needs some drama, some suspense. And this system has a really clever, built-in way of creating exactly that. It's called the pressure of the gap. So the main source of all this tension is the gap. It's just what it sounds like, the number of days since any number from a particular cycle has been drawn. The longer a cycle stays silent, the more this pressure builds for it to finally make a dramatic comeback. And here you can really see the stakes. On one side, you've got the completed cycle 12. Its mission is done. Its gap is 0 days. On the other side, you've got cycle 19. It's been silent for 35 days, which puts it in a critical state. A breakthrough is expected at any moment. The system even has its own kind of threat level meter. It's this escalating scale of urgency. A cycle status can climb from just active all the way up through high, critical, extreme, and then it culminates in this special status called unprecedented for the absolute longest gaps. And what's the most extreme example we found in the documents? A staggering 54-day gap for cycle 22. 54 days. That's the longest period of silence we saw in the data, and that's what pushes it into that truly unique, unprecedented territory. So, we have a mission. We've got a unique language, and we have a whole lot of drama. But what is really going on here? This brings us to the final reveal, the real purpose behind this entire elaborate framework. Okay, get this. Buried inside the system's own documents is this crucial disclaimer. It says flat out that lottery draws are random, and that this framework does not predict or guarantee outcomes. This changes everything. So, if it's not actually predicting random numbers, what is it doing? This whole thing isn't a predictive tool. It's a narrative engine. It's a system designed to create a compelling story out of pure, meaningless chaos. And once you see it that way, all the pieces just click into place. You've got your heroes, like the victorious Cycle 12, and your villains, like the long, silent Cycle 19. You have rules and laws that give meaning to every single random result. There's constant urgency and drama, all building toward this grand quest to achieve 100% exhaustion. It's a complete story. And that leaves us with this really fascinating question to think about. If we can't actually control or predict the truly random events in life, is the next best thing we can do just to build a system that gives them a sense of purpose, a narrative, and ultimately just makes them feel meaningful?